controversial how many stops bill is coming to a head today as the city council convenes to override Mayor Adams' veto.
Yeah, the bill requires NYPD officers to file paperwork on low-level exchanges with the public. Mayor Eric Adams and his supporters say the bill would prioritize paperwork over actual police work. Mayor Adams joins us live this morning from Gracie Mansion, and he's also joined by Yaneli Enriquez, who wrote a letter to the City Council urging them to not override the bill. So good morning to both of you, and thanks for taking the time to speak with us today.
Good morning. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, there's been a lot of back and forth about how many stops bill with both sides, accusing the other of spreading misinformation. But you maintain that level 1 stops should not be included in the bill.
No, not at all. And that was why I brought out city council members to do ride-alongs with police officers so they can get an observations on exactly what this bill is. And we use the term how many stops. These are not stops. These are inquiries. A person that is part of a level 1 is free to leave at any time. And it's not the same as stopping someone because of a criminal investigation that you believe they committed a crime. And although I think the city council concept and hearts were in the right place, we're asking them, let's take time to get this right because we're dealing with public safety and we cannot do anything that's going to impact public safety. As Yaneli is sitting next to me, she lost her daughter to a terrible violent act. Those police officers worked around the clock, communicated with hundreds of people. They should be focused on catching people who are harmful in our city.
So there seem to be differing interpretations on what a level 1 stop is. So do you think maybe the answer to reclassify the different types of stops might help everything out?
And that's a great question. The term level 1 and the definition was determined by a court. It was a court decision. We can't modify what a level 1 is. And that is any credible interaction with a civilian that a police officer is doing. So if someone's mother is suffering from dementia and you're trying to find her, every person that officer communicates with to say that you see this woman, he has to document that interaction. He has to guess her age, guess her gender, guess her ethnicity, and then write a reason for each one of those stops. You speak to 100 people, or like in the case of the person who stabbed 6 people, we communicated with 1,000 people. Imagine making that documentation each time you have that interaction. We should be catching the bad guys.
All right, Yaneli, we'd like to hear from you a little bit. You lost your 16-year-old daughter to gun violence almost 2 years ago. Now, you wrote to the city council hoping to change their minds about passing the bill. Tell us what prompted you to do this.
Because we need cops to do their work, not file paperwork, not sit there for hours doing an incident report. Because like Mayor Adams said, if you have to speak to 1,000 people, how many hours do you sit there? So whoever committed a crime or anything like that has a window that they can run away, and you're not going to be able to, catch the person on time. Like for my daughter example, the incident happened at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and he didn't get called to the next day at 10 o'clock at night. And we're talking about a lot of hours. So if they doing all this paperwork, instead of going out, he could have been called way before. So there's no need, to be documented so many hours of paperwork. They have body cams. They have all that information. And all that they can do, like technology this day is over the roof. Put it in a USB or transfer it to a computer and go outside and continue to do your job. Because I feel police officers are not secretaries. They need to be in the streets, making sure that any family don't go to the same thing my family went through.
Yeah. Well, Mayor Adams, City Council Speaker Adrienne Adams stopped by the Pix 11 Morning News yesterday. Let's listen to what she had to say about the how many stops bill.
Conversations around this legislation should have happened between the administration, NYPD, and the council long before passage of the bill. The NYPD actually did have input on this bill, talking about this bill like it is going to create undue responsibility, undue paperwork. We're talking about the most technologically savvy police department on the planet.
So, Mayor Adams, do you think you have enough time to change their mind, that vote today?
Well, and there were a lot of conversations. We made a good effort of showing how much time this is going to consume. And I think what's really being lost in the conversation is that many people don't realize the number of interactions police officers have with civilians. And when you just believe that, okay, just go to a simple app or any other simple ways. That is fine if you're dealing with one person. We have 8.5 million interactions on 911 and 311 calls. Those 8.5 million, if you multiply even a low estimate of 1 minute, those are 8.5 million minutes that officers are not out doing police work. They're doing some form of documentation that's already, mind you, documented on the body cameras. We fought for that. This is what I committed my life to do. Getting justice and public safety, they go together, and we can accomplish that.
Mayor, I wanted to ask you, you had that ride-along this weekend, the NYPD, excuse me, ride-along. Do you think it changed the minds of any of the city council people who actually took part?
Yes, I think that if the city council people were able to vote with their hearts, they know their districts don't believe in the level one aspects of this bill. Many of them came to me after and said, you know, this is really an eye-opener. Wish we would have had ride-alongs earlier. And so we may not have changed their votes, but I think we changed their hearts, and that leaves a room of opportunity because the bill is not actually implemented. The law is not implemented until sometimes in July. I say let's use this opportunity to amend one part of the bill. I support the concept of this bill. We can fix the one part that I think would really be challenging for our public safety, the success that we've experienced thus far in the city.
All right, Mayor Adams, thanks so much for your time, and Yaneli Enriquez as well. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.